The United stand. We're live with your latest Manchester United transfer news this night, and it looks like Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku could stay at Manchester United due to the massive transfer fees placed on both players. Now, this may please some people, it may appease some people, it may make somebody very, very, very unhappy. But the point is that we've had some big developments actually with regards to Liverpool and not Liverpool. With regards to whoa, are we even bloody live here? Yeah, we should be live. Are we live? Yes, we're live. Good stuff, good stuff.
We're not.
Let me get live. I didn't think I was live then for a moment. We are live. So let me go through that again. Lukaku and Pogba could stay at Manchester United due to the massive fees being placed on the price tag of both of these players. Now, it may please you and it may upset you, but let's start off with Lukaku. So Inter Milan have sacked their manager. Antonio Conte will take over. Antonio Conte wants Lukaku. Lukaku is priority number one for Inter Milan. But the story in the UK press this afternoon is that Manchester United have slapped an £80 million price tag on Romelu Lukaku, which in many ways may mean the deal's over and Lukaku is going to stay. I choose to look at this on a positive sense. Look, I don't know what Manchester United think, but first of all, they do have TVs in Italy and they do watch football other than Serie A. So they will know that Romelu Lukaku, like the rest of the world, is not worth 80 million. I know we paid 90 for him, 75 million fee and then 50 million in add-ons. But no matter what we try and do, we are not going to recoup £90 million. We're not even going to recoup £80 million. He's probably worth £60 million. So how Manchester United expect they're going to get 80 million for Lukaku, I don't know. But the reality is, Inter Milan want Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku's open to a move to Italy. Every single United fan wants Romelu Lukaku to go to Italy. So bloody hell, Manchester United board. Just take the hit. Take the bloody hit. Do not play a hard bargain with Lukaku because you've got no hard bargain. There ain't anybody else queuing up. We're acting like we've got Ligt. Hey, Inter Milan want him, so let's say 80 million to them. It won't be long before PSG and everyone else comes in. Ed, it will. No, I've done this before. I've been doing it for 6 years. We tell Inter Milan 80 million. Give it a couple of weeks. Real Madrid will come in with 90. We'll get 100 million for him. No, we won't, Ed. It's Romelu Lukaku. Shut up. I know what I'm doing. Ed, Inter Milan have walked away. There's nobody else. They'll be back. 6 months later, nothing happens. So, no. I think that Manchester United may need to lower their expectations with regards to Romelu Lukaku, or he will be staying at Manchester United. It's that simple. If we hold out for 80 million quid, he will be staying at Manchester United. So how does that make you feel? I want Lukaku gone. I want him gone. I've said it before. I'm not going to criticise the guy anymore. He's not good enough for what we need to do. I think he can score goals at a team like Inter Milan, but Inter Milan aren't going to win Serie A, and Manchester United aren't going to win the Premier League with Lukaku. So he needs to go. I just hope that the story that we're holding out for £80 million isn't true, and that we do get this deal over the line with Inter Milan. It's very, very important. I do not want Lukaku staying here. There will not be a queue. I mean, who else is going to sign Lukaku if not Inter Milan? I'm just massively happy and respectful and grateful to Inter Milan for actually wanting Lukaku. So get the deal done. Don't start messing around for another 5 million. Reports suggest Ollie to give the Chuckle Brothers a chance, says Connor Kilsey. Yes, well, give me a chance. I've only been live for 2 minutes. Give me a chance, lad. We'll be talking about that. We will be talking about who Ollie sees as his main man, even if Lukaku leaves. Marcus Rashford, we'll talk about that. And also, there's a story out there that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to give another chance to Rojo, Bailly, Jones and Smalling. So effectively, he's gone cool on the idea of signing a centre-back. So we'll talk about that. Marius Larsson says Haaland scored 9 for under-20 Norway in one single match. New world record, and got his debut for by Solskjaer early in his career. He's 18 years of age. Well, that's the sort of player that maybe we should be looking at. But we'll come back to that. Let's talk about the Paul Pogba thing. Now, Paul Pogba, the situation with Paul Pogba is this. This is not in the... I tell you what, I've had it to hear. I have absolutely had it to hear. I have seen UK newspapers quoting people off Twitter who I know are banter people. They're not even journalists. So you've got that sort of thing happening. You've got in the nose telling you this when they know it's probably not going to happen, but if it does, it makes them look good. I've been doing this for 4 years. 4 years, and I have never, and this transfer window's only officially been open for 2 weeks, and I have never seen as much bullshit that is out there at the moment. I feel sorry for the people who don't know what's going on, because there is so much bullshit out there at the moment. But And we must take everything with a pinch of salt. Pinch of salt. But in relation to Paul Pogba, this is the situation. There is two developments today. Calderon, who is the ex-president of Real Madrid, has come out and said that Real Madrid do want to sign Paul Pogba, but their issue may well be whether they can get that deal over the line with regards to the fee and how much he would cost for them. So that is interesting with regards to Paul Pogba. The second thing is, and this I suppose this links in with with Ligt as well, is that Mino Raiola has been banned by the FA. They've put him on the list of intermediaries that are banned, and therefore people are starting to say, well, that means Pogba's staying, it means De Ligt's not coming. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all. There are ways around this. You can still get a transfer done without using Mino Raiola. But the situation with Paul Pogba is this. Zidane, when he came back to Real Madrid, mentioned the name Paul Pogba, and Zidane wants Paul Pogba at Real Madrid. Pogba wants to go to Real Madrid. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think United fans get very defensive of this and they go, oh, Pogba, get sod off if you don't want to be here. Pogba wants to go to Real Madrid. He wants to go to Real Madrid because Real Madrid are a better club than Manchester United. They've got a better manager. They've got a better squad. They play in the Champions League. His job will be easier. He will get to play with people like Toni Kroos, Luka Modric and co, instead of playing with Scott McTominay, Nemanja Matic and Jesse Lingard. So his job will be easier. He'll probably be on the same money, and he'll win more trophies. So I don't blame Pogba wanting to do that. I never saw that Pogba was a player that loved United and would be here for the rest of his career. I didn't. But so Zidane wants Pogba. I think Pogba wants Zidane. The issue is Manchester United don't want to sell Paul Pogba. He's got 2 years left on his contract, and he's got the option of another year, which we can do. So it's basically 3. He's worth £150 million in today's market, and his wages are very expensive. And it's those two things that are causing the problem for Real Madrid. Because United not wanting to sell, that's surpassable. If Pogba puts a transfer request in, they'd have to sell him. Pogba wants to go, Real Madrid wants him. The issue is the fee and the wages. That is why I think Paul Pogba will stay at Manchester United, because Real Madrid have got to do other things. They've got to get Hazard. Do they need Pogba this summer? Probably not. So I think what happens with Paul Pogba is, I think Pogba wants to go. I think Real Madrid want him. But what will happen is Pogba will not sign a new contract at Manchester United, and he will go next summer, and he will go for half the price. He will go for about 70, 80 million, because he will not be as valuable as he is now, because another year will be off his contract, and maybe he puts the transfer request in then, and Real Madrid can afford him then. So I think that's what's going to happen with Paul Pogba. I can see him staying at Manchester United, because I don't think Real Madrid have got the financial muscle to get Pogba and everything else they need to do. They'd have to pay 150 million quid. It just doesn't feel like Pogba's going to go for 150 million quid, does it? Is Pogba having the sort of footballing career at the moment where he should be going for 150 million quid? I think he will go in a year's time, and that's how I feel about that. If there's a swap, we must get Varane and more, says Gunchi. I mean, a swap deal, there's talk of swap deals with Inter for Lukaku, there's talk of swap deals with Pogba with Real Madrid. These swap deals are quite rare, and I don't really see them happening. But it's interesting, isn't it? Lukaku and Pogba staying, Manchester United transfer news. Well, we have got very, very high fees for both of those. Pogba, 150 million, which I think we're right on. Lukaku, 80 million apparently we want. I think we're wrong on that. So both players could end up being in United shirt next season because of how much United value those players. I think in the case of Pogba, it's great. In the case of Lukaku, it's bad. But having said that, do we want a Pogba who's thinking about going next year? As long as he's committed to the shirt and puts in a performance, I don't mind him staying for another year. But ultimately, if he's going to do what he did last year, I'd rather we got rid of him, if I'm totally honest with you. Keep Pogba for 3 years, says Billy. I think we've got the power with Pogba this summer, but I think that power will disappear next year. As long 3 years left on his contract, we've got the power. 2 years left on his contract, and he says, I'm never signing a new contract. We start to lose power. So, yeah. But who's going to buy Pogba? What's your take on the 4-1 defeat of Arsenal, says Omar. Well, I've seen a lot of people talking about it in the live comments. At the end of the day, we're as banter as Arsenal are. They just gave it the big I am, didn't I? And it was enjoyable to watch. And Mark, can you explain what a club is liable to do when a player puts in a transfer request, says Bagwan Singh? Well, you don't have to... Paul HT2 says Real's transfer budget is 80 million. Well, they ain't getting Pogba then. There's no way they're getting Pogba, because they're going to have to spend they'll probably spend most of that on Hazard, won't they? What happened to the Daniel James deal, somebody asked. I think the Daniel James deal, I thought it looked likely this week. I think a lot of people did. But actually, as I said last night, when you think about it, it makes sense for United to wait until the end of the internationals, because what if he gets an injury for Wales and breaks his leg? You bought him before that and he can't play. So I think it's probably going to happen after the international break now. There's a lot of deals like Rabiot 1st of July because his contract runs out there. Antoine Griezmann 1st of July because his release clause drops down from 200 million euros to 100 million euros. So there's a few deals that can't be, not that we're getting those players, but there are dates that make sense. And I think anybody who's playing international football, you're going to have to wait till after their international games now, aren't we? But it doesn't mean that things won't develop. But yeah. I mean, Coutinho wasn't having a 160 million type season, says Virgil Hainsey. I think Coutinho was a pretty good player at Liverpool when Barcelona bought him, though. But look, I don't know. I don't see Pogba going. I really don't. The interesting thing about Lukaku, and I don't know what you all think about this, the interesting thing about the Lukaku that came out today is that if Lukaku does leave Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sees Rashi as his main striker anyway, and would probably look to bring somebody in who's got a bit of height. So maybe we're going to sign Peter Crouch on a free transfer, I don't know. But the point is, Rashford is Ole's main man, according to that report, and he would look to bring somebody in with a bit of height. I mean, who's somebody that we can bring in world football with a bit of height? Mandzukic. I mean, I just don't get that. I don't. A bit of height. I mean, you've just got rid of Fellaini. That was his whole big thing, and he could have done that role. And I'm glad you got rid of him, but I just don't think. I think there's a few stories floating around about United at the moment that are just being put out there to try and circulate negativity in the fan base, and which is something I'm very resistant to, because as much as we want transfers to be done, I said it on the Transfer Daily this morning, I'm very frustrated. I'm very frustrated with the English Premier League opening a transfer window, basically shortening a transfer window. And it's on Arsene Wenger's watch this happened. He pushed for it. Oh, let's close the window before the games start because it's annoying having to sign players when you've got to focus on games. Well, no, bollocks, Arsene. It's not annoying. You're just old and you can't multifunction. You can't multitask, because actually most of Europe's transfer window doesn't close until the end of August, and that's when our transfer window should close as well. Opening it in the middle of May is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We lose a month of our transfer window. You can't buy anybody in May because most of Europe is still playing football. You can't buy anybody the first 2 weeks in June because most of the decent players are playing international football. So you can't really start buying people to the middle of June. But we open our transfer window in the middle of May. So we have a month where we can't actually do anything with it anyway. It's a waste of bloody time. And I think that is something where I see people talking in the comments and talking on social media, and they're like, oh God, another day where United haven't done anything. And I actually think, well, it's very, very difficult for Manchester United to do anything. Of course you can sign deals. You could sign Ligt tomorrow. You could sign Daniel James tomorrow. You could sign Bruno Fernandes tomorrow. You could do it, but you do run that risk of them getting injured on international duty. You do also have the issue of the player maybe saying, I don't want to talk about it till I've been on international duty. It's difficult. It is difficult. And I think United we're struggling because of that. Thoughts on DC United's bid for Ashley Young, says Adrian Gorchia. I'm so glad you've asked that question, Adrian, because it's a load of crap. It's a load of crap. Right, 2 reasons. DC United have already got their designated players. I think it's their foreign allocation of players. Of course, Wayne Rooney's one of those. And also the second one, and I really wish I'd delved a little bit deeper. I saw the tweet yesterday from the person saying it. I looked at their account and it basically said in their bio, freelance journalist with lots of links into the media. And I thought, what a crock of shit. What a stupid bloody account that is. He's clearly a bloody joker. And I started to go through his timeline, and then I saw Manchester Evening News reporting it. And I thought, oh, it must be true. I didn't realise Manchester Evening News were quoting that Twitter account, which was clearly a load of bollocks. It's all a bloody... This is the thing. It's a nightmare at the moment. I tell you what, I've said this before on this video. What we do on the United Stand is mainly report and talk about transfer news. That's what we do during the summer. I like it. I love it. I've loved it for 30 years. We get little bits of information, and if we do get that information, we'll tell you about it. But basically, our job is, I suppose, aggregator, really, isn't it? We read the information, we feed it out to you, and we discuss it. I've never found it as hard as I have this year. It is a massive job to see these stories and then look at where they're coming from, and you cross loads of it out. But there's mainstream media outlets reporting off crap Twitter accounts that I know and you would know are bollocks. Like this bloody Diego, what's his name? He's a fake. I know who it is. And people, they're doing news articles about him. And people are believing it. And people are tweeting, De Ligt's a done deal, it's going to be done in 2 weeks. And people are believing it. Now, De Ligt might be a done deal in 2 weeks. It could happen. It might not happen. It could happen. If it does happen, it doesn't mean those people who said it's a done deal are right. It means that they guessed. And when it doesn't happen, they'll say, oh, he changed his mind at the last minute. It's so easy to pretend to be in the know. I could do it to you now. I could say to you, well, I've been told David De Gea is leaving Manchester United, right? So I could say to you now on the United stand, David De Gea is leaving Manchester United. When David De Gea leaves Manchester United, I can go, remember I said it. Remember I said it. On 30th of May, I said De Gea is leaving Manchester United. And when he leaves, I can go, I'm in the know because I got told that. I have been told it by 2 or 3 people. I have been told De Gea is leaving Manchester United. But I ain't going to ever pretend to be in the know about it because, for one, if he stays at Manchester United, I could just say, well, Man United caved in and gave him the offer he wanted. But if he goes, I could say, look at me and my sources. It's bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. It's a guessing game. And it's really hard at the moment. It's really hard at the moment. And that's what we spend a lot of our time doing on the United Stand is, you know, when you see a story, you sometimes go 3 or 4 articles because the Sun and the Mirror and the Mail and everything like that, when they quote a story, these are UK newspapers, when they say Lukaku's leaving United, you read the article in the Sun, but it's actually from an article in Italy. So then you've got to go to the article in Italy and then you look at the journalist and you go, how credible are they? Have I dealt with them before? But sometimes they're quoting people off fucking Twitter. It's a joke. It's really, really hard. It's really hard. But we work hard on here for you lot, and I know you lot work hard as well. And as I've always said, the United Stand community is probably the most intelligent football community I've ever came across. Oh, that's what she said. But no, so we work through it together, but it's bloody hard work at the moment. It really is. I really actually hope that United don't sign De Ligt, they don't sign Koulibaly, they don't sign Daniel James. They don't sign any players that people say we're signing. Bruno Fernandes as well. They sign players who are as good as those players that we've never been linked to. I would bloody love that. Imagine if we just signed Varane out of the blue. And we signed bloody Hirving Lozano out of the blue. And we signed, I don't know, a top-class attacking midfielder like Kevin De Bruyne out of the blue. I mean, they're not going to happen, but, you know, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. Right, okay, we've had another super chat here from Jacob Hurley. He says, Mark, love your rants. You're amazing. Very on point on transfers. Love it. Hope you and family are well. Keep up good work. Can you explain why we're giving Rojo another chance and sell all the Dreadwood? Thanks for that, Jacob. I mean, every bit of positivity, I always throw it back at the community because this channel is only as good as it is because of you lot, because you interact with us and you give us the ideas. I'll do a recap towards the end, Adam. Zed Jamie says all the rumours are incredibly frustrating. I mean, Zed Jamie and me, we sort of interact on Twitter. I've never known it like this, Jamie. I've never known it like this. It is absolutely crap. It's so much crap out there. And I feel sorry for the people who believe the crap. I really do. But, you know, we'll get through it. We'll wade our way through it. This is another story. I'll put it out there. So apparently, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is willing to give a second chance to Rojo, Eric Bailly, Smalling and Jones as he goes cold on looking at people like Koulibaly and Maguire. So the story is basically trying to say that Solskjaer is no longer looking for a centre-back and he's going to give Rojo, Bailly, Jones and Smalling a chance. I cannot for the life of me jump on this story and start ranting. I can give a theory on it if it's true, and I will do that, and I'm sure you will as well. But I cannot for the life of me think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has changed a plan of getting a centre-back and said, yeah, let's stick with Rojo, Bailly, Jones and Smalling. If we do that, he'll be gone. He'll be sacked by Christmas, like a lot of people were saying. You cannot do that. We're meant to be breaking the wheel and starting again. We're meant to be building a vision. We're meant to be, patient and let's say, we might win the title in 3 or 4 years, but not in the next 2. We've got to build something. If he starts next season with Jones and Young and Smalling and Rojo and Matic, I'm sorry, bollocks to that. No, I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. I'm not. That's not going to be the change. That's not going to be my patience. I'm not doing that. And I'll put my hands up now and I will say, I am not being patient if you stick with what we've had for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That's not what this is meant to be about. That's not what the fans are willing to be patient about. We can all banter Arsenal for losing 4-1, but we ain't thick. We're not bloody goldfish who 7 seconds later we forget what bloody happened in the last 2 months. Cardiff at home and the crap bunch of shit that has been playing in a United shirt. I am not having that. Do not think that Manchester United fans, because they've had a few months off, are going to forget what the crap is. If we go into next season with Rojo, Jones and Smalling and Young and Matic, forget about it. I am not doing that. That is not change. That is not what we're meant to be doing. And I actually don't believe that's what's going to happen. Firmly believe that Manchester United Football Club and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are on the same page as the Manchester United fans, that they know this is a big job, that they know they've got to clear the deadwood, and they know they've got to bring some players in. If we didn't buy a centre-back, it would be absolutely disgraceful. And I just think that this is a negative story, provoking... I'll come back to this in a minute. Nick P says, Mark, please never post or report anything on Young again until it's a dead cert he's off. I started chilling the champagne this morning. Nick, I was going to do a bloody celebration dance. I said I'll wear a dress and makeup. I don't care because I'll be that drunk and happy. It wouldn't matter what I do. I'd do anything within reason that's legal. But no, yeah, this is the trouble. There's so much crap out there. There is so much crap out there. We will always have 1999, says Hazel. Get me on conference call, says Harrison Schiller, and I'll run through the definite transfers United will make this season, in my opinion. Yeah, Harrison, we're not having any of those sort of bollocks phone calls on where people just predict and tell us stuff that's not going to happen. B-Moth Gaming says, right wing is priority. Been shocking for 6 years. Obviously why we can't score when our only start go down the left and hope Rashford or Martial can dribble around 2-3 players. A right winger is absolutely imperative. But I tell you what, if we come out of this transfer window with no centre-back, that is an issue for United. You note I never mentioned Eric Bailly. I don't mind Eric Bailly being given a second chance at Manchester United. I don't mind Eric Bailly being given a second chance. I don't. I like Eric Bailly. I think he's absolutely reckless, and I don't think he'll take advantage of his second chance because I think he'll spend half the season injured because the things he does with his body, I don't think stuntmen do. He's ridiculous, and that's why he gets injured all the time. But I don't mind him being given a chance. But Jones and Smalling are definitely here next season. Lindelof's definitely here next season. If Eric Bailly's here next season and Rojo's here next season, we ain't buying a centre-back. We've got to buy a centre-back. And if we don't buy a centre-back... And look, I think this story's a load of crap, but to be honest with you, if it's true, if we're not going to buy a centre-back and we're going to give a chance to all our current centre-backs, piss off. Seriously, I know I'm swearing a bit, but it makes me really angry. Jones can't play out from the back. Smalling can't play out from the back. Rojo can play out from the back a little bit. Lindelof can play out the back. Bailly can do it a little bit. Jones is shit in the air. Smalling with VAR is going to give away a lot of penalties. Rojo is okay. Lindelof is not very good in the air. That's not really his game. Bailly is okay in the air. So we've got 5 centre-backs there. Not enough of them are good on the ball. Not any of them are leaders. Lindelof maybe. And not any of them are dominant in the air. That's what we need. A centre-back who's good on the ball, dominant in the air, and a leader. That's what we need. We haven't got that. Even if we stay, let's play Twansibi. He ain't the leader. If you watch him for Villa, he's had a very good season, but he's not a leader yet. He's only in his early 20s. That's the profile of centre-back that Manchester United need. Should we cash out on Pogba and sign Fernandes, says Elliot Murphy. I don't think Manchester United have a decision to make on Paul Pogba. As I said at the start, Pogba and Lukaku could stay at Manchester United because of the fees we need on them. We need at least £150 million for Pogba. Who's going to pay that? We need 80 million apparently for Lukaku. Who's going to bloody pay that? So we could end up with both those players staying because nobody's going to pay the fee for them. And remember, this is a problem that also goes through to Alexis Sanchez. Who the bloody hell's going to pay his wages? So we could end up with players that we don't want at this club because we can't offload them. So I think Pogba will be here next season, which may mean... I mean, look, let me be blunt here. Bruno Fernandes is a player United have been scouting for a very long time. Bruno Fernandes is a player that Manchester United want. Bruno Fernandes is a player that could go to Manchester City because United keep Pogba because no one else will buy him, and Fernandes goes to Man City. We might miss out on good players, the players that you would rather have, because we're keeping Pogba. If Real Madrid came in and said, we've got 150 million, and Pogba went, I'm off, or I'll put a transfer request in, problem solved for those people who think Pogba should move on. But I don't think Real Madrid are going to do it. Hafez Mohammed says, Mark, do you think De Ligt be respected in United because he's 19? You think he'll be allowed to be leader and criticise the likes of Pogba? I fear this situation. Well, that is another good point. If we did get De Ligt, how can he lead that team when Pogba is the leader in the dressing room. He's not really the leader on the pitch, is he? I've seen, I don't think he's a particularly good captain on the pitch, but apparently he runs the dressing room. So how does 19-year-old De Ligt come in? I don't think we're going to get De Ligt. I've always said I don't think we'll get De Ligt. I think we can do. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I just don't think we will do, because I think things like that make a lot of sense. Mark Witten says, I believe in Swansea next season. Would you have the patience for him? I would personally. Maybe sign that Diaz guy, if not De Ligt. I don't think Swansea's ready for Manchester United Premier League centre-back yet. No. I think if the Swansea stays at United, he'll just be on the bench every now and again. He needs to play first-team football. I want him to go to Villa. I think that's the development he needs. Thanks for the contribution, Big D. You are something else. Love it, though. Did we win the awards? Says Rule Cummins. What award? What award? What award? Pogba is no way worth 150 million, says Mark. We've done this before, Mark. I'm sorry, he is worth 150 million pounds. You can not like the player. You can think he's overrated, but I'm sorry, in the modern market, Paul Pogba's worth 150 million. And I like Paul Pogba. If he wants to go, I'd say go, but I wouldn't let him go for anything less than 150. We've been robbed if he does. You telling me Ousmane Dembele can go for 135 million pounds and he's just been a decent winger for Dortmund. Coutinho went for around the same, just for being a decent midfielder for Liverpool. Paul Pogba's a World Cup winner. He's one of the most marketable players in world football. I mean, and he went for 90 million 3 years ago. Inflation pushes his way. It pushes even for us to get our fee back of 90 million in football, the inflation would knock that 90 million up to 120. On top of that, he's a World Cup winner and he's very, very marketable. He's in his prime. And on his day, he's very, very good. He's worth 150 million. I'm sorry. I know people want to say, oh, he's shit, this, that and the other. I'm not disagreeing with you. But Paul Pogba in today's market is worth 150 million. And we're stupid if we ever let him go for anything like that this summer. Davey Fisher, I'm worried Ollie will make Young captain and start him at right back consistently next season. And it will be Ollie's biggest downfall. We should sign Wan-Bissaka. Davey Fisher, I totally agree with you. I think you're absolutely right. Going back to Rashford being the main striker, though. Tyler Watts says, do you think there's any real chance of us getting De Ligt? Yes, I do. I think we're in the race. I think we're in the race for De Ligt. I still think that he will choose. I just think the lad he is, and I'll respect him for this, even though I'll hate it that he's not coming to us. If he chooses Barcelona, it just shows you what he is. He is a leader. He is moral. And he's a fantastic footballer. If Barcelona's the footballing option for De Ligt. It is. He'll walk straight into that team. And he would be a leader at the back with them. If he comes to United, people will look at it and go, we're in the Emmerdale Cup. We're very unstable. There's a lot of shit there. There's a lot of egos there. I don't know whether... For De Ligt at Ajax, it's not easy, but he's been there all his life. He grew up with those players. He can lead those players. If you're De Ligt, you're 19 years of age, you're being offered Barcelona, you're being offered Manchester United... And you look at United and you go, great club, but I'm going to walk into that club. They're going to want me to be a leader. And I've got people like Jesse Lingard and Marcus Rashford in a clique who are Manchester youth players who may not take to me. You've got Paul Pogba in a clique who's a World Cup winner and one of the most marketable players in the world. He may not like me being vocal. It could be a bloody nightmare. And I'm a 19-year-old kid who wants to develop my career. What if I go to United and I get all these egos shouting me down and my career stunts and United continue to be shit? It's a massive risk for him. If he comes to us, I'll be amazed, but it could happen. Andrew Rossi, if an offer for 150 million comes in for Pogba, cash in now. Have a feeling the drama with him will only get worse. Yeah, well, he's going to go at some point. He is going to go at some point, so I agree with you that. Jarvis Cocker, you'll never live like common people. Haaland scored 9 goals in the Under-20 World Cup tonight for Norway. Yes, he's the son of Alf-Inge Haaland, huge talent, and Ollie's former player. That sort of talent, I wouldn't mind coming to United. He wouldn't be ready to play straight away, of course, but I wouldn't mind him coming to United. And Exus TV, I know we all want De Ligt, but wouldn't it be more sensible to get 2 good centre-backs and rotate them with Victor and Eric rather than putting all of our eggs in one basket? Let's see what happens with De Ligt. If we get him, fantastic. If we don't, it wouldn't surprise me. With regards to Rashford up front, though, as the main man, I actually think there might be something in that story. So the story is that if Lukaku leaves United, Rashford's going to be Ollie's main man anyway, and he'd be looking to bring in as a backup striker somebody with a bit of height. Now, I don't know whether it makes sense with somebody with a bit of height, but it certainly makes sense that Rashi is his main man. I think we've seen evidence of this. I think we've seen evidence of this from pretty much day one with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The first 2 or 3 months when it went really well, Rashford was the main man. He scored that cracking goal against Spurs at Wembley. In the last 2 months of the season, Rashford was being played through injuries and he was shit. And Ollie's been consistent. You know, we can't moan about it when it went well. Rashford was playing well and he stuck by him when he was playing crap. So next season's a new page for Rashford. I feel sorry for Rashford. I think he gets linked in with Lingard a lot because they are such good pals. There's a world of difference in the talent of Marcus Rashford and Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard is a player that is a bench player for Manchester United, even when he's playing well. Marcus Rashford, when he plays to his talent, is comfortably a United first team player. Should Rashford be the first team player at United? In my dreams, yes. In my dreams, because I like Rashford. Him and Martial for a long time were my two favourite players at United because they're talented, they're young, and that's what I like at United, that sort of hungry young talent. The hunger seems to have disappeared, the confidence seems to have disappeared. If Marcus Rashford can get back to being the exciting player he is, of course I want him to be United's number 9. The problem at the moment is his touch, his decision making, closing his eyes when he's got headers, everything about his game is off, and he needs to get that back. And the next season's going to be very, very important. If I was Ollie, I don't mind him starting Rashford as our main striker next year. But if he starts next year like he ended last year, you've got to have a backup plan. And I just think that maybe a Timo Werner or even an Icardi, someone like that would be a good signing to bring in because it would keep Rashford on his toes. Whether we're going to do that or not, I don't know. Jacob Hurley says, Pogba will stay if we get the right team and change. If you get what I'm trying to say, Young, we need to go. We need to have a real right-back mate. Pogba's a very interesting one because he's a divider. His free kicks are absolutely crap. Yeah, Kiffin fan as well. Bench for Rashford, Greenwood to start, says Mohamed Ali. Well, this is the interesting thing about Rashford and Manchester United, because if we do sell Lukaku, but you sign, let's say we sell Lukaku and we sign a top-class striker, where's Rashford going to play? You don't want him playing on the right wing. You don't really want him playing on the left wing. So sitting on the bench for Rashford, is that good enough? If he's on the bench, where's Greenwood's chances? So, I've got a bit of a cough now. So if you sell Lukaku, Rashford's your main striker, Greenwood's your striker on the bench, Martial can play up front. What if you sign Rashford, you sell Lukaku, you don't sign an out-and-out striker, but you do sign 2 players who can play around the striker? You know, maybe you're going to get a bloody Griezmann who can play off the striker, but you get or a João Felix or a Bruno Fernandes, and you get a right winger as well. I think if we're going to go with Rashford as our main striker, you've got to buy 2 or 3 players who can play in and around him. That would be really important. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did it. I really wouldn't. I'm just going to blow my nose because it's that's why I'm coughing. Right. I'm glad that Acid Cox Gaming says Diego Martinez, the Spanish journalist, has confirmed the Ligt transfer to Manchester United. He also broke Manchester United, so could be seen as reliable. Mate, he is not real. He's not real. He is one of the ones on Twitter who, if you go back years to his account, he wasn't called Diego Martinez. He's changed his profile picture 3 times because they're stock images off Google. He is not credible. He's just guessing. He guessed, and he wasn't first on Sanchez. He wasn't first on Sanchez at all. Because we were first on Sanchez, because we were told by Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV right at the start of January that it was going to happen. And you can go back and watch the videos there. But there was a lot of people who knew that was going to happen. He doesn't know what's going to happen. It's a guess. If De Ligt signs, it's not because that faker has said it first. Loads of people have been saying De Ligt's a done deal for about 2 weeks. And most of them are guessing at it. So, look, do not believe these people. There are certain people you can believe who are very, very credible, and they are not saying anything about this deal because it's not done. De Ligt has not made his mind up. He's simply not made his mind up. He said that himself 2 days ago. He hasn't made his mind up. All this talk of done deal, medicals, You're getting hard yourself for no reason. There is, as I said to you a few minutes ago, there's so much bollocks out there at the moment, and I wouldn't believe any of it unless it comes from somebody of real credibility, i.e. a DiMarzio or a Simon Stone or a Simon Peach or someone like that. Other than that, you know, it's just ridiculous what's getting old. Would you sell Lingard for 30 million, says Ben? I would actually. I think it would be a massive statement to sell a player like that, but I don't think United are brave enough to do it. Rashford needs time to rest and not have too much pressure, and give him home time to build still young. Jacob, I'd love him not to be part of the England setup. I think Rashford reminds me of Rooney, not in talent, but in this persistent need to be playing football games. He needed to have this summer off. He's not having a summer off. He plays for England. He has 2 weeks off. Then he's going on the summer tour for a whole nother year. He's playing too much football, Rashford. Way too much football. What's your potential midfield three for next season with and without Pogba? It's hard to say, Red J. It's hard to say what's going to happen with Pogba. I'm signing tomorrow. We should sign a contract for Rashford, says Rehan's channel. Pedro from Fluminense and Ndidi from Leicester would be good, says the Ghost. I would love to see them coming in. What about the Rabiot reports? Credible, says Gordon Murray. Well, Rabiot's available, isn't he? Rabiot's available. Of course, United are going to be linked to him. It could be that, look, if you're Rabiot or you're any player that's out of contract at the moment, so... I mean, who else is out of contract at the moment? Well, Herrera, I suppose. He's not signed for anybody yet. But the thing about Herrera is he's still under contract with United until July the 1st. Rabiot is still under contract with PSG until July the 1st. So if you're Rabiot, you may have no intention of coming to Manchester United. But if you leak into the press that United have made a big offer for you, but you really want to go to Real Madrid or Juventus... his agent will be saying to Real Madrid and Juventus, United have made a massive offer, what are you going to do? And I think that's what it's all about. A lot of the time, that is what it's all about. We do get used. Yuri Tillemans, I would love to see him come in, Ian Rooney. I really would. Can we meet when I come to the UK from the US, says Big D. If I'm at the game that you're at, yeah, but Flex will be definitely there. Hey Mark, what's up, says HM Plays. Rabiot's the perfect Herrera replacement. Would you take back Michael Keane, says Barry Lee? No, we're better than that. Grayson Buno says, is Jovic actually a target or another media push? I think people just chuck names out. You know, I could do that as well. Leon Bailey. Ndidi. You know, I could just say... United are in for them or whatever. There's a lot of players that would enhance United, but I've not heard anything about Jovic at all. Nothing about him at all. All I've heard about Jovic is he's going to Real Madrid. But I don't see how Real Madrid are going to sign Jovic, Hazard, Pogba, which is why Pogba will stay at United, I believe, because I just don't think they're going to do it. Memphis Depay will not leave Lyon. He won't leave Lyon because Lyon president has already said there's only 3 players leaving Lyon. One is Fekir. 2 others are going to be their left back, Villain Mendy, and Ndembele. So Moussa Dembele, who we've been linked to, I don't think he will leave Lyon, and Memphis Depay is way down the queue. He won't get out of Lyon this year. Martial should be our main striker, says Mark Rykoff. Well, he could play there. That's the thing. Martial could play as the front striker. If you're going to get wingers in like Daniel James and maybe get another couple of wingers, then maybe don't play Martial as a winger anymore and you play him up front. Kurt Zouma's a good centre-back, Zahil Firma, but is he still on loan from Chelsea to Everton, or is he permanently gone now? I don't know. I do like Zouma. He's very... I mean, to be fair to Zouma, he's a leader. He's strong in the air. I don't know what he's like with the ball at his feet, but I imagine he's better than Jones and Smalling, because we're better than him. Nothing on Pedro from Fluminense, Rizwan. I wish there was. I really do like him. He would be a very good signing. Sam Creedon with a very good comment. He says, is this one of the most crucial transfer windows United have had in recent years? Both signing and selling of players. Yes and no, Sam. I think that this transfer window will define Manchester United for years to come. Because if we waste it, we're putting ourselves back a year. we can't do everything in this transfer window. I've always said that. You can't. What we need to do at that football club is sell 10 players and buy 10 players. That's what needs to be done. We can all do our lists. They'll be slightly different, but much the same. We need to sell 10 players and buy 10 players. We can't do that in one transfer window. So this summer transfer window and next summer transfer window are massive for United. But you've got to start it off well. If we only sell 2 players and only sign 2 players, we've messed up. If we sell 5 and bring in 5, it's not a bad start. There'll still be players here we don't want to be here, and there'll still be players we haven't signed that should be here. But we can't do it all in one summer. So it's a massive summer for United. On top of that, if we do sign 5 players and we do sell 5 players, the players that we sign, are they the right players? The players that we sell, are they the right players? Because imagine Herrera's already gone. That was a mistake. Imagine if De Gea and Pogba go. Well, that's a mistake. So, but on the other hand, if you get rid of Lukaku, Sanchez, Rojo, Darmian, and Ashley Young, it's a brilliant summer. So it is a very, very big summer for United. I think we're almost in this calm at the moment. I think that's why we're getting some negative stories from the press around United, because they don't really know what to do. They know United are going to do something, but they don't know when United are going to do it. We will do it. I think personally we're not going to get everything done by July the 1st. It's impossible, because we're probably not going to sign our first player till sort of like the middle of June. Are we going to sign 5 players and sell 5 players in 2 weeks? No, we're not. So we're going to be doing stuff while in July, but it will go off like a bottle of pop. Tall forward, what about the Brazilian Pedro, says Joshua Sibyl. I mean, he's not that tall though, is he? He's about 6 foot, isn't he? Bring back Beckham on the wing, bruv. Done deal, says Cam Hayar. And William says, sell Lukaku, give Martial the number 9 back, and play him in the striker with Rashford playing on the left. Well, they could both be the strikers and we could sign a winger. You know, there's lots of wingers out there. Becky Beckham says Hazard can't leave unless Abramovich accepts a deal. Yeah, but he's only got 1 year left on his contract, hasn't he? So they'd be stupid to let him go for free. We will be keeping Fred, Obi Johnson, yes. Anyway, so to summarise the show, Lukaku and Pogba could both stay at Manchester United. Inter want Lukaku, but Manchester United apparently want £80 million. Inter Milan can't pay £80 million. Will they give us a player that we want? Perisic certainly doesn't fit in there, and I don't think they'll want to lose some of their big stars, but we'll see. As with Pogba, I think Pogba does want to go. I think Madrid do want Pogba, but have they got £150 million to buy Pogba? Would Madrid offer up players that we actually want? I mean, oh, God help us if we took Bale. It wouldn't be great. So we could this is the interesting thing. I think everyone thinks you've got a magic wand to just go, off you go, Sanchez. I'll guarantee you Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants rid of Alexis Sanchez, but it's not going to be that easy. He's on 400 grand a week and we'd need a transfer fee. How do you do that? It's very, very difficult. Many clubs end up keeping players they want to get rid of because they can't get rid of them. It's been happening at United for years, and it happens at other clubs as well. As the question said there, it's a massive summer for Manchester United. Please do smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get 1,000 likes. Tristan Taylor says, I think Van der Beek, Rabiot and Fernandes would be a huge upgrade in the midfield. Pogba sale should be able to pay for that. Also, Meunier would be a great right-back for 3 years while Delot develops. I do agree with you. Thanks for that contribution. I really do. I really do. Anyway, please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm back again tomorrow morning at Baku again. I tell you what, Troops cannot use that line anymore. Remember, you know Troops from AFTV? Back again. He can't use that line again. He's lost his catchphrase because next season, every time Arsenal lose, I'm going to go Baku again. He's lost it. AFTV, down the drain. Anyway, we love it. We love it. We're loving it like that. Davey Fisher says, we should never have sold Johnny Evans. He's better than anyone in our defence, and we sold him for peanuts, which makes it even worse. Terrible business. I mean, we need better than Johnny Evans, but he is better than Jones and Smalling, I agree. I'm back again at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Transfer Daily, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. Make sure you tune in for that. Get your subscriptions on and your notifications on. I'm going to have a drink of water. See you in the morning. Really enjoyed the show. Loads of great comments as per usual. And yeah, absolutely loving all the interaction. We'll get there together. We just got to keep talking. And I tell you what, I've got to honestly say, I've never known a transfer window like this. There's so many people setting accounts up, putting bullshit out there. But we'll swim through the shit and we'll keep it going. Thanks for watching. See you soon.